Dream report. A little unclear. So I was biking with some woman who I knew, and we went to a festival way up high, and it was very fun. And the entire road to get there was under construction. So the earlier part of the dream, we had traveled up this construction zone. And there's the people I didn't really know that well up there, but they were all really nice. And then we left there. I left earlier, and I somehow we were cycling, which I've done quite a bit of in my life. And somehow I went down the hill through the construction zone without my bike. And then they biked down, and then I was like, well, did you bring my bike? And they're like, no. And so I hiked back up through the construction zone. This is hours and hours of transport. And I biked back down and met her slash him. I think they changed gender a few times during the dream. Their gender was not super important. They're a good friend of mine, though. And then we were waiting for somebody we were supposed to meet, that somebody was sending to meet us. And we were talking with other people and who were leaving this festival. This is kind of a Burning Man-like festival, I suppose, that we had been to. And I have mixed thoughts on those. But then we met with this guy who had just been up at my family's place. It's got to be a better light than this. And he had just been up in the Olympic Mountains, where I spent a lot of time before. And so we started talking to some of the people that were also leaving this festival and saying, hey, why don't you join up and go with us? And we made some real quick social contracts about, well, like, we don't spend a lot of money when we travel. You pay for you, we pay for us. Because we don't want to, gather a bunch of moochers together. That never works out well. And so we kind of were making these quick social agreements, and then going to head out to the mountains and continue the amazing adventures that would be fun. And I woke up, and I was kind of in a semi-trance state for a while, trying to continue the dream, because it was a nice dream. It was very pleasant. But I lost the dream. I do a lot of lucid dreaming. I'm very interested in the dream world and encouraging it. I think that we can live more instead of live longer, although living longer doesn't hurt. I did also just recently read an article that only a very small percentage of us is going to live to see 100. And in fact, we're actually getting sicker because we're contaminating our bodies so much that childhood cancers are on the rise and stuff like that. So even though we think we're healthier because we're living longer, we just have a big medical system that we're relying on. But in actuality, we're living sicker on a sicker world. So it isn't looking good. But the underlying things with this dream were about wanting to do things with people again, have fun with people, because I spent a lot of time not doing that. And also boundary setting surrounding that. Because I woke up once again thinking, well, how do I filter through people? How do I not get screwed over by people? And of course, good people worry about that. Bad people don't. People who just go through their lives mooching off other people, screwing people over, they do not worry about that. Some of them are professional at it. I know. I've hosted a bunch of them. And it's a small percentage of the people I've hosted. Most of them have followed the agreement we had, which was not an agreement I should have made because I was paying for everybody. I was losing money for decades. And so I went from being a pretty well-off guy to just scraping by. That's very bad. Luckily, I have a huge forest, so I invested wisely in having a home and a place I can share. But even yesterday, somebody I don't know, that I share any values with, saw that I live in a really cool place in Mexico, and they were like, "Well, do you got a spare room or a porch?" And it's just like, well, that's not a great way to start a conversation. I don't know you. A lot of anonymous people contact me, and that's why I have a kind of anonymous channel now. I don't want people to find me. I've had trouble with people just showing up, and I just don't like to meet those people. I want to meet the people who say, I have a lot to offer. Here's what I offer, and I'm looking for a place where I can offer it. Because I have a lot to offer, and I want to offer that. I'm looking for compatible people where we build each other up, not setting up some hippie paradise where people are taking advantage of me and damaging the reputation that I've built up locally, that aren't just out to consume and party. Which I understand the temptation of doing that. It's a great idea. It's super fun. Not very interesting to me. And I'm not anti-party at all. I can party pretty hardy. But we got work to be done. And so I'm looking for very serious people. That's the recurring dream for me, is protecting myself against being misused by people. And I'd like to get rid of that dream by having more positive social experiences, win-win situations where this place is being built up, where the experiences are being built up, where people are benefiting by doing creative projects here, working remotely, creating a really longer lasting community than just a bunch of rich travelers meeting, at a rich guy's house for fun. So, now that light's out. I gotta plug these in. These are solar lights, so they need to be plugged in. Jesus, fuck, Christ. Yeah, maybe I should test the light before I stick it right in my eyes. Yeah, that'd be bright. Or less bright. I got like spots in my eyes now. Well, good morning. Hope you slept well. I do want to make some videos about the dream world and how you can use it, because I do spend a lot of time there, and I'm very active with lucid dreaming, and all that stuff can be trained. Your dream recall can be improved, your ability to control your dreams within them, which is lucid dreaming. And you might as well. It's a free custom movie made for you, all about people and surreal shit can occur. It's a drug trip. It's a natural, healthy drug trip that your brain has to go on to I think, reorganize like things in your head. Processing things from short-term to long-term memory, maybe, or I don't know. I've got my theories on that. I'm sure there's some more scientific, smart ones, but that's one of the things I'd like to do, is help people improve their dream life. I can do that with videos and exercises, and also I could make an element of the culture here when people are here that people are commonly recording their dreams. It's a perfect place for it. And, I have tricks, like having a camera right next to my bed. So even though that dream report wasn't real interesting, I have way more interesting dreams, but you could make dream reports, and don't wake up and try and write it down. You shouldn't even have to turn on a light. You just reach over, and I even want a camera better designed for that than this one. And I even have ideas for a really easy to design app that would actually wake you up at the right time to recall dreams, and then start recording as soon as you pick up your camera. And there's some related apps that already exist, so maybe I should just propose that app to I could just write it up and post the specification online. Somebody else can do it, because there's no reason to make a lot of money off of this. I want the goal. The goal is to give lots and lots of people access to their dream world, And I don't really see it as a moneymaker for me. Now, there are people who make money off of different REM sleep measuring apps and stuff, but I could also partner up with somebody because those are not accurate. Like, they can't actually tell when you're in REM sleep, their accuracy is fairly low. But if you paired it up with these little headsets you can wear that monitor your EEG, then actually you could wake someone up at the time that they were in late REM sleep or likely to be ending REM soon or having just ended REM, and then you could have an alarm go off at that point, which is not the time you want to wake people up if you want them to have restful sleep, because there are those apps. There's apps that wake you up at the right time, and this is kind of the opposite of that, where this is why I mentioned the code base is already there. It would wake you up exactly when you are most likely to have dream recall, because that's the goal. Now, you wouldn't maybe always want to have that goal. Maybe you need to get some good sleep, but I'd be happy to be woken up when I have the highest dream recall, because it's extra life I get to lead. It's access into that strange world. So, yeah, I should just give that idea away. I'm not going to do it. If I had a bunch of geeks living here, which is one of my options, is to attract remote workers in general. But I think I should focus also on software developers, because I have a lot of cool app ideas. I have experience in the software industry, and some of my ideas are very easy to put together. Other ones are way beyond my skill set and would probably be difficult for any team. But there could be a lot of crossover, knowledge and stuff. Like, there's certain things like login and database stuff that's useful for all of these things. And then a few of the ideas have some technology that isn't quite stuck together yet, and some of it hasn't really maybe been fully developed. I think it's more a thing of combining different services. Anyway, it'd be great to be among geeks, because there's still lots of software out there that has not been written that could absolutely revolutionize the world. One of the most revolutionary ideas I have is not rocket science, and it will absolutely change the world. But I only want to do that with people I trust, that I share values with, and we work on it together. And I don't know if it will make a bunch of money. It certainly probably won't. It can be monetized. It can make good money. But I don't like these. I mean, it's like the internet's been sold. Like the dream of Facebook, was to connect people up in all these good ways, and now it's just all this evil crap. Google's slogan used to be "Don't be evil." They kind of forgot about that. They changed it because they've become evil. And there's other companies that I like, but they've become evil too. So I think getting geeks together to work on really great things, we can benefit, we can survive and thrive, and maybe in some cases make shit tons of money. It depends on the app and how we do it. I'm not anti-money, but I'm for software serving people first. And then we can, in some cases, figure out how to monetize that, or maybe make some software that just exists to make a ton of money. There's a great app. Called Balatro. It's based on poker loosely, but it's not poker at all. Like it just isn't. But if you knew the rules of poker, it helps you get into the app way easier, because you already know a base set of rules that the thing is based on, right? So it looks like a poker app. It's not. It's a game of complex changing rules. Balatro. BLATRO. Balatro. And the guy who made it was a single developer. He's only known by some online name. And he made shit tons of money off of it. If you calculate how many he sold and then what percentage he gets. And he spent 2 or 3 years developing it. It's got some graphics. Its gameplay is fantastic. The guy must have a psychology degree or just understand how psychology works. It has perfect non-scheduled reinforcement. So it's always giving you something new. You're slowly building up your abilities. And it's about learning rule sets and how they affect a complex thing. And this is going to be an odd analogy, but there's a game called Flux, which is a really great game. Good game for families and kids. It'll make people smarter because the rules in the game of Flux, that's Fluxx, Flux, it's a card game. Very simple, great gift for people. I got mine as a gift. And the reason I bring it up is because the kind of person who enjoys the mental skill of dealing with changing rule sets a lot, right, is the kind of person who would enjoy Balatro. Now, Balatro is something you could not really implement in a physical way. There's too many cards, it's too complex. The program is doing a lot of thinking for you and scorekeeping and things, and it's just really lively as hell. I can't recommend it more. Balatro. I think it's on Steam and whatever, you can look it up. I might even make a video where I play it and record it. I'm not into video game videos very much, but it might be fun because there's certain tricks to it that are minor that would help people do better. And so maybe I'll make one of those, but you can just check it out on your own. I've learned a whole bunch of tricks like, you don't have to play 5 cards, for example. And so you can use any extra cards as discards if you wish to. You may or may not wish to because they don't count for any score. But you might want to get rid of cards out of your hand, and you only have a limited number of discards. So there's some counterintuitive things like the fact you don't have to play 5 cards. It's not 5-card draw or whatever. And it just gets wildly complex. I've played it for I don't know how many hours now. That's one feature I would recommend that software have is they tell you how many hours you played so you can see how much you're wasting your life. But, I'm playing this on, late at night when I'm tired and I don't feel like doing anything useful anyway. And so I just click and get my little dopamine rewards because it psychologically is designed to be, giving me those little dopamine rewards. And I'm really impressed with the developer of it. I mean, he hasn't even released its real name. And I calculated some weeks ago that he had made at least $13 million off of this game. So he spent 2 or 3 years developing the game, probably paid for some graphic arts if he didn't do that himself because it has some nice card graphics in it. But those are really straightforward to do, low res, simple stuff. And $13 fucking million, and he only released it earlier this year, so it's a new game, and he's already got a very loyal following, and you're going to join the following of that, and he's working on a new version of it, or new stuff, new things will occur, and so this guy is set for life on one game. So having a bunch of geeks getting together and making social agreements about, what kind of software they want to develop would be just fantastically amazing, And this comes out of the Stream Report, right, where you want to have a system that hooks you up with the right kind of travelers and have agreements of people who are appropriately matched to travel together because they want to travel the same way. Well, in this case, it's similar. I want to attract people with similar business goals, with similar lifestyle goals, and the things we can create are mind-boggling. If we can, be living healthy, eating cheap, living comfortably, having social agreements, no dickheads allowed, no dickheads at all. We have different definitions of what that means, but we can have a wide variety of behavior, but there's, a good 15% of people we just don't ever want to have here. Or some other percentage you can make up based on your life experience with people. Like what percentage of people are bad enough that you don't want them anywhere near you? And my percentage is probably a lot higher than that. Like I want to be with the top 15% of people. I don't just want to get rid of the lower 15% out of my life. I want to hang out with the top 15% or 10. And I want all of us to be focused on creating all the time, or enjoying ourselves. But a lot of creation. I want financial success with everybody. I don't want to have a system that's so successful it attracts a ton of moochers, and that is what they do. So that's solvable. Goodbye from a grumpy old guy. I gotta buy some coffee. That's one of the drugs I don't have here. And not by choice. It just seems expensive. I gotta go walking. I haven't been walking enough lately because I'm desperately working on my computer. But I do have enough money. I could walk into town today and get coffee. I'll see if it looks like rain or not. The rains are finally subsiding. It's a great time of year to be here. And maybe I need to really figure this out. How can I invite other people here to enjoy this fantastic space with social agreements where we have net profitable situations? Because I'm lonely. My dogs are lonely. One dog just walks in the house and kind of whines at me, and there's food open on the porch. He's not hungry. He wants love. And I don't give my dogs love. I don't just sit around petting them. I barely say hi to them. The only thing they enjoy with me is going for walks. And that's not even all about me. I need to assemble a core team of people that will allow me to invite other people. And that means I have to find people I can trust. I don't trust anybody. It's a big problem.